Hi, everyone. Welcome to Black in Focus. I'm Karen Toulon. We got a treat today. We're talking to Christiane Pendarvis. She is the co-president and chief merchandising and design officer at Savage X Fenty. Yes, Rihanna's lingerie line. Hi, Christiane.
Hi, Karen. Thank you so much for having me here today.
It's great to see you. I always love catching up with you. And so clearly we're going to be talking about Rihanna's lingerie line, but I just want to set the stage a little bit. You've been at Savage for about 2 years, I believe,
Correct.
and you bring expertise in direct-to-consumer, full plus size. You were at Victoria's Secret, Aerie, Full Beauty, The Gap, Neiman Marcus before, and now you're at Savage X. Can you just tell us quickly what you're responsible for there?
Yeah, absolutely. So I co-president and I co-lead the brand with Natalie Guzman, who's my chief marketing officer. She really oversees the marketing and operational side of the house, and I oversee what we call product creation. So those are the teams that make the merchandise that we sell. So think designers, technical people, production and sourcing people, buying teams. I oversee all of those teams.
Wow. So I do want to just quickly set the stage with all things Rihanna. So combined with her Fenty Beauty, skin, Savage, music, all of it landed her a spot on the Forbes billionaire list at $1.7 billion this year. She also had a deal with LVMH for high-end clothing that was put on hold at the beginning of this year. I think that's where things still stand. Is that right?
That's correct, yes.
Um, but lingerie, huge, right? Global lingerie market is pegged at around $42 billion and should grow to about $78 billion in the next 5 years. That's according to Statista. Another group of research puts the whole comfortable clothing, lounge, leisure, athleisure market to top around $500 billion by 2028. So you're really in an interesting spot. And a lot of it was on display last Friday with the show, right? Third runway show streaming on Amazon Prime, and that's where we saw Rihanna's vision for diversity in music, in models, influencers, actresses, dancers, all on display. That was I guess your baby for the year. What's been the reaction post show? Do you have any sales numbers that you can share with us? And what are the takeaways?
I can't specifically share sales numbers, but I can tell you overall response to the show has absolutely been incredible. As you mentioned, it's our third installment of the partnership that we have with Amazon Prime Video. And I think every year we really strive to take the show to another level and to create something far beyond a traditional fashion show, quite frankly, right? And you sort of alluded to it, dancers, performers, influencers, models. If you haven't seen it this year, we shot the show at the Westin Bonaventure Hotel, which is a very iconic hotel here in downtown Los Angeles, that has just amazing, what feel like sort of predetermined catwalks. There's so many just miles, it feels like, of this runway inside and outside of the hotel. And it played just such an important role in terms of the backdrop architecturally for the show and the things that we were able to do. We used a drone camera to do some of the overhead shots, which were really, really pretty incredible. And I think, overall, we continue to just redefine, not just in terms of what the show actually looks like and who we're representing and presenting in the show, but also in our model where you can buy the collection right as the show airs. So it's a, click to buy, see now, buy now, which is just a different model than most people approach in this industry.
Yeah, and is this the first time? I know we someone in my household actually took advantage of that click to buy, and we actually already received a package. Is this the first time you've done that, the click to buy, or did you do that last year?
We did that last year as
Mhm,
well. It's specifically on the Amazon platform, but we've
mhm,
always had the collection available to buy
mhm.
right when the show airs.
And so another thing I noticed, of course, were all of the male dancers and performers or influencers or people who identify as male. Male lingerie. I think you started that last year. I think maybe around Valentine's Day, there's a special kind of pop up. What are the plans for male lingerie? And again, similarly very, very body and type diverse with the representation of the male models.
Yeah, absolutely. We were really surprised that men's has turned out to be such an opportunity for us. We launched it for the first time with last year's Volume 2 show, and it was a
Hmm.
capsule collection. It was, hey, let's just drop a few men's styles so we have things that we can put the male dancers in that they're actually wearing Savage product.
Hmm.
It literally sold out in 12 hours. We were beyond shocked at just the response that we had received. And so, to your point, we decided, hey, there's more opportunity. We did a capsule collection for Valentine's Day. We did another capsule collection for our Pride campaign back in June. And now men's is a year-round business for us. So in August, we started launching men's underwear available on our website, 24/7, 365, and then dropped another big collection for the fashion show. And men's has probably been the star, quite frankly, of the fashion show in terms of sales performance. There's just been such an appetite. And I think what for me, and I guess for us as a brand that it
Hmm.
highlights is men are looking for fun, interesting novelty beyond just functional, intimate apparel as well, just like, women are people who identify as female. And so it's an opportunity for a brand like ours, which I think says how broad and wide our brand can be, that we can service. When we say everybody, we literally now mean everybody can be serviced by Savage.
Um, your revenues, according to Savage, revenues were up about 200% in 2020. Um, and this comes at a time like we're in the midst of COVID, right? Had people thinking differently about how they dress, whole work-life balance, comfortable clothing. Um, how important was your direct-to-consumer model this past year when people weren't necessarily going out to shop? And I have a little data for you. According to Bloomberg research, 50% of apparel sales are going to be online by 2025. So how did COVID play out in your customers' lives and the products you were selling to them?
Yeah, it was really a perfect storm in a positive way, quite frankly, for us. Because as you mentioned, we're direct to consumer. So clearly people were already just gravitating to shop in e-commerce because so much of physical retail was closed. So that was
Mhm.
one feather in our cap. We're in a category that people continued to buy, right? Not just intimate apparel, but to your point, loungewear, sleepwear, because people were sheltering in place, right? So that was another positive for us. And then as a direct to consumer brand, we spend a lot of our advertising and marketing dollars on social media channels. And the dynamic with social media last year was everyone was at home. So everyone was consuming significantly more social media. But then so many businesses were caused to shut down. The population of people, of advertisers putting dollars in got pulled
Mhm.
back, right? So there was a lot of demand for social media. And we were able to really fill that void. And so for us, to your point, we saw a record breaking year for us, far exceeded our initial expectations. And we've just continued, quite frankly, to ride the wave. I think it's been great. When we get people to try our merchandise and our product, they become hooked on Savage. We deliver incredibly high quality product at a value price point that I think is just very differentiated in the market.
And to pick up on that, because of just this real shift in how people live and work and play and relax, are you putting more attention into the sleep and lounge collection? That's what it's called on your website. Is that someplace where you're putting a little bit more attention? Because also, to reveal, pre-COVID, someone in my household has been known to wear your pajama pants outside in the street, right? And so whether you think you're doing streetwear or not, and I know that streetwear is not your area of expertise within the company, but your stuff is being worn out in the street. And so, are you putting more attention into, I know their robes and their leggings and pajamas, but are you thinking about how to kind of massage that product line a little bit? What are you
Yeah,
hearing from your customers?
absolutely. We definitely hear that people love our sleepwear and loungewear because it is, again, so high quality and at such a great value. And so, what you've already even seen as part of this most recent drop is we brought back what we call our iconic onesie. It is this yummy cocoon leg, just probably the most comfortable piece of apparel that you'll put on, all gender. So for both, male and female. And we brought it back in a big way. It was such an important seller for us last year that we've expanded the color choices, added graphic options to it, and you're going to see it continue to come back. And it's really part of the anchor of what you'll see in our holiday collection with additional sleepwear pieces, additional loungewear pieces, because that is such an important critical trend for how people are living their lives. And our customers have told us, we love this product from you. We want to see more of it.
Another thing that I think also your reporting was up last year around 150% was your subscription base. Can you talk about how that works? I believe textile is the I guess parent company or the company that you have a relationship with that's also works with Fabletics. How does that subscription model work?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I can explain it. And we actually call it a membership model because it's not a traditional subscription model. When you think about a subscription model, you think, I'm going to get sent some product every single month. And I have to really opt out of that, which is not exactly how our model works.
Mhm.
So you sign up to become a member with Savage. You get incredible perks as part of your membership. So you get up to 25% off our retail prices
Mhm.
every day, every item, every time you shop, right? Which is an incredible benefit. You also get additional other perks, free shipping over a certain threshold, birthday gift. There are just many things that we give to our VIP members. And what we expect for you to do then, you come to the site every month. We drop a brand new collection, which is part of the excitement
Mhm.
with Savage. And you tell us whether or not you're going to shop that month or whether you want to skip and you don't want to shop at all and you don't want to get billed. If you don't shop or skip between the 1st and the 5th of the month, then you get billed what's called a membership credit. But that membership credit isn't a fee, it is literally a gift card that 100% of that credit goes towards merchandise. And so it's probably one of the most flexible membership models
Mhm.
because you can skip every single month, or you could come between the 1st and the 5th, buy a $10 sale item, and you've sort of satisfied your membership for the month. So it's incredibly flexible in that it
Mhm.
gives the customer control over whether they want to buy something, whether they don't, whether they want to get a membership credit, whether they don't. And regardless of whether you skip all the time, you still get your benefits and all of your perks.
Um, but there's so much ground I want to cover. International. I just checked on the site before we started speaking, and if I was in the UK, I could get 2 bras for 29 quid.
Yes.
What's your international presence? Very seriously, how much, if you can tell us, how much of your sales right now are international, and what are your objectives for international growth?
Yeah, well, Rihanna is a global superstar, right? Who has incredible reach. And so it was very important as we were launching the brand that we were able to allow her full fan base and everyone that really understands what an icon she is in the fashion industry to participate within this
Mhm.
brand. And so we operate our own direct to consumer sites in 4 markets in Europe specifically, and that's the UK, France, Spain, and Germany. And we launched both the US market as well as all 4 of those markets when we launched back in May of 2018. And it's definitely a growth opportunity and a huge focus for us. We
Mhm.
really have tried to perfect here in the US what works. And we're really in the stage now of saying, hey, how can we take what works successfully in the US, tailor that for each of those local markets to scale the business within all of those markets? And then we also have a border free program so that we can really ship across the entire globe.
Wow. Um, so speaking of the entire globe and growth, back in February, you got I think around 150 million for expansion in retail operations from PE firm L Chatterton. LVMH, as an aside, was a founding partner of that. What can you give us an update on your brick and mortar plans? Are we going to see actual stores, and
You are
when?
actually going to see stores. I can't tell you when. I'd be spoiling the surprise and the buildup. But yeah, retail we think is an important component for us, right? We know that in intimate apparel specifically,
Mhm.
because fit and comfort are so important, they're just customers who don't feel comfortable purchasing online. And they want to be able to go physically try the product on, touch, feel, make sure they found the right size and the right fit for them. So retail is an important part of our growth strategy. So you will absolutely see Savage stores in 2022. Can't tell you exactly when, can't tell you exactly where, but we're incredibly excited about bringing this brand to life in a physical form.
Will they all be in the U.S.?
Initially, they will all be in the U.S., but we're absolutely, again, having conversations around what does that expansion potentially look like in the EU.
And will they be actual stores, or is there a chance that they'll be like the Sephora model, where Sephora is in Kohl's, a pop-up store, not a pop-up because it would be ongoing, but a store within a store? Is that something you're looking at?
They will be our own physical stores.
Wow. Interesting. And so who is that consumer that's out there that you think that you may want to convert from being a fan to an actual buyer? I mean, you touched on this a little bit before when we were talking about everyone's at home watching social media. You can some people can certainly enjoy the Savage brand by just watching social media without actually being a buyer, right? It's almost a form of entertainment, right? It's content that's interesting to look at and to think about. Rihanna certainly does so many posts around justice issues, etc. There's a lot that you can do engaging with the brand without actually making a purchase. Are those the customers that you're trying to get to?
Honestly, we really see our brand as servicing everybody, and we say that in the broadest sense of the word. I think there's the Savage product and sort of persona that you see within social media, you see in our fashion show, which is definitely edgier, more provocative. But when you really look at our product offering, we have a full complement of product across all the categories. So everyday bras, everyday underwear. We are covering off, really broad size range, because inclusivity for us means everybody gets to choose their expression, right? Which could be different by day, different by time of day. So if there are times where someone wants to be in something more provocative, your choice. If there are times where you want to be in our comfy, onesie and cocoon-like and safe, your choice. And so we're very focused on offering our full product line, every single style across the full size range, because we believe everyone owns what their own aesthetic should be. And that's male, female identifying, male identifying, non-binary. We really see this brand servicing everyone. And it's not, and I know a lot of people will say, I'm a little bit older myself. And so my friends were like, oh, I can't buy your product. I was like, absolutely. There is no age limit around wearing Savage.
Before I let you go, I'm going to ask you, Rihanna's fans seem to really appreciate her, I just like this word because it's overused, but her authenticity. Are there other white spaces of business that are being talked about to get into? So many celebrities and influencers are doing all sorts of things in fashion and food and vegan. Are there any plans to do beyond where she already has gone?
Yeah, I can't speak for what she's planning to do. I think I would assume probably, and I just say that not because I have any inside information, but just seeing the imprint that she's had and the businesses and categories that she's, chosen to build brands in. I think you're right. It just indicates there's opportunity to take what she's created and her approach probably more broadly across other categories. But I can't specifically say, is she planning to get into cookware? I don't know, maybe. And knowing what I know about her, I wouldn't be surprised, right? Because she is just so innovative, so forward thinking, and very, I think, smart around where she sees opportunity to disrupt what's happening in an industry.
Well, that's going to be the final word: disrupt what's happening in an industry. Christiane Pendarvis, co-president, chief marketing and design officer at Savage X Fenty. Thank you so much for speaking with me today. Always a treat seeing you. Next week, we're going to have a conversation with Darren Walker. He is the president of the Ford Foundation, who's finding justice and generosity. Until then, for Black in Focus, I'm Karen Toulon. Have a great weekend, everyone. Take care.